narcissist suddenly asks you to make love because it can make you suffer even more. Escaping the clutches of a narcissist or terminating the relationship isn't a straightforward endeavor. Their demeanor undergoes a sudden metamorphosis. They cloak themselves in a facade or morph into someone entirely different. It's a meticulous performance aimed at showcasing their ostensibly benevolent nature. They might even express readiness to engage in therapy and vow to metamorphose into a superior version of themselves. This scenario is not confined to just any sociopathic individual. It could manifest in various relationships, be it with a parent, friend, or romantic partner. The lengths they'll go to retain your proximity are boundless, especially if they sense your impending departure and realize you're their primary source of validation. This may entail momentarily relinquishing their penchant for dominance and manipulation. Their objective is to maintain a grip on you until they're convinced they'd regained complete control. Until that juncture, they'll subject you to further abuse, perpetuating the vicious cycle. Thank you for tuning in to this presentation. We'll delve into instances where a narcissist appears most affectionate and how to navigate such situations. Additionally, I'll discuss the requisite mindset for handling such circumstances. If this topic resonates with you, I urge you to join our community if you haven't already, as it serves as a platform for disseminating information about narcissistic abuse. Narcissistic relationships typically unfold in 3 distinct phases: idealization, devaluation, and discard, also known as love bombing, devaluation, and discard. During the love bombing phase, several significant events transpire. Initially, the narcissist fabricates an enticing facade to allure you, gradually transitioning into a phase of devaluation where they withdraw the attention once lavished upon you. This shift in behavior results in a palpable change in treatment as they begin to ignore you and alter their demeanor in your presence. Eventually, the cycle culminates in the discard phase, which can manifest in various ways. While delving into the intricacies of each stage is beyond the scope of this discussion, it's imperative to comprehend how this cycle of idealization and devaluation impacts one's psyche. Furthermore, I'll provide strategies to navigate this recurring pattern should you find yourself ensnared within it. It's peculiar, yet the narcissist relies on you far more than you rely on them. They exhibit parasitic tendencies, lacking genuine connections or emotional depth. Emotionally aloof, they resemble a hollow vessel devoid of sentiment or soul, a stark contrast to the vitality they feign. Their interaction with the world mirrors that of a zombie. I trust this analogy resonates with you. They thrive on your emotions to sustain their existence, feeding off them to feel alive. Should you strip away the source of these emotions, they'll wither away. Narcissists, on the other hand, find it very hard to let go of you, especially if you are their main source of support, and they depend on you many times. For them, you're an extension of themselves, and you're how they live their lives. You are a representation of what they want to be, but can't do on their own. Because of this, your presence is very important to them. To put it simply, when you decide to leave, and they understand how serious your choice is, when you start to pull away, they start to change into the person you always wanted them to be. To keep you in their lives, they change how they act and act like a better version of themselves. They make big claims and might even go to therapy. In some cases, this act can go on for years instead of months. During therapy, they may not seem to be making much progress. They could shift the attention to you or use the therapist to control the situation, especially if the therapist isn't used to spotting these kinds of tricks. A lot of the time, they take a passive part that makes it look like things are changing, but they don't really. But in the end, they go back to their old habits because that's just who they are. They give off an air of deep love while offering comforting words and the support you have been waiting for. But when you take a step back and look at their actions without bias, you understand that they are just trying to keep you trapped. There is no real emotional connection in their deeds, which are motivated by greed. Their efforts aren't really meant to help you, they're just for their own gain. Sadly, a lot of people who have been abused by a narcissist fall for these staged actions, thinking that somehow things will work out and the person they imagined will show up again. This cycle keeps the trauma going, strengthening the bond and making the internal fight, called cognitive dissonance, worse. Part of you knows this person is horrible and wants to get away from them, but they keep manipulating and entangling you, making you feel attached. Because of this, you end up being stuck. When you finally get away from them and see their real, horrible nature, it makes your current problems even worse. You go back and forth between times of relief and total misery. Having cognitive conflict and residual self-doubt together wears you down, stopping your progress and making it hard to take more action. If you are currently going through this, I suggest that you take a step back and think about why they are acting the way they are. Think about what might be going on behind the scenes and give careful thought to the trends you have seen in the relationship. Ask yourself tough questions like, do I see a pattern here? They seem to go back and forth between being nice and being mean all the time. Think about how you can be sure that this time is really different and that they really want to change after years of acting in horrible ways. When someone acts in a way that doesn't seem normal, it makes it hard to believe what they say. Allow yourself time to write in a journal and think deeply about these tough questions. Use your common sense to avoid giving in to their promises, even if you have been without affection for a long time. Remember that your brain might make their movements sound bigger than they really are. To get out of the grips of narcissistic abuse, you need to get clear by looking inside yourself and asking and analyzing the situation over and over again until your mind, soul, and heart are clear. In conclusion, when a narcissist acts like they love you a lot, it's not real love. The fact that they are paying attention to you during this time keeps you as their source of approval. You don't have to give in to their tricks, though. Ask a lot of questions. Get help from a friend or therapist you trust who understands your situation, and make choices based on what you find. That's the end of today's show. I hope it was helpful and interesting for you. If you have, please think about giving it to other people who might find it useful. Until our next show, let the mending process begin and continue. Navigating the narcissist's response. Once a narcissist realizes that you are genuinely interested in them, their usual tactics lose their effectiveness. Being nice no longer serves their agenda, and they understand that playing the victim won't elicit the desired sympathy from you. With your feelings no longer under their control, you become less valuable to them. However, this doesn't necessarily mean they will cease their interactions with you. Even if they can't manipulate you directly, they may attempt to exert influence through other people in your circle. Unfortunately, many narcissists don't swiftly move on to their next target. They often have multiple individuals in their crosshairs, seeking to inflict harm wherever possible. Frustration mounts for narcissists when they encounter resistance or are unable to obtain what they desire. Whether you've called out their manipulative behavior, established firm boundaries, or severed ties altogether, the narcissist recognizes when their psychological games are no longer effective. Today, I'll discuss 3 strategies that narcissists employ when faced with individuals they cannot control or manipulate. Depending on your relationship with the narcissist, you may have experienced one or all of these tactics. However, it's essential to understand that the narcissist perceives you as a significant threat. Their discomfort arises from encountering someone who exhibits strength and intelligence in navigating their manipulative tactics, exacerbating their insecurities and prompting them to seek ways to undermine your influence. Schemes to diminish you. When a narcissist realizes they can't bend you to their will, their next move is to diminish your value. This can manifest in various ways. They may attempt to tarnish your reputation or engineer situations to cast you in a negative light. Backstabbing, spreading falsehoods, or launching full-scale smear campaigns are common tactics employed by narcissists to damage your standing. Their aim is to isolate you and turn others against you. Manipulative individuals believe that if they can't control you directly, they must prevent you from thriving independently. Consequently, they seek to sabotage your relationships, even if they cannot directly harm you. Even with strong defenses, a narcissist may exploit individuals in your circle who are less resilient or discerning, leveraging them against you. Their ultimate goal is to erode trust in you among as many people as possible, ensuring that any attempt to expose their behavior falls on deaf ears. The competitive streak. When narcissists lose control over someone, they often resort to intense competitiveness. Unable to exert influence directly, they strive to outperform you in every aspect. Despite their inability to control you, they are determined to prove their superiority. Constantly comparing their achievements to yours, they eagerly await your misfortunes. The narcissist desires a grander house, a more luxurious car, a more attractive partner, and a superior job. If you have one child, they'll aim for two. They may fabricate success and accrue debt to maintain the facade of a superior lifestyle. For narcissists, once their control tactics fail, everything becomes a contest. Even though they habitually feign success and happiness, they desperately need to perceive themselves as outshining you. Farewell time. When a narcissist can no longer exert control over someone, their final recourse is often to ignore or isolate them. The narcissist finds it too painful to be around someone who has slipped from their grasp or whose life they can't influence. They prefer not to waste any more energy on individuals who see through their facade of lies. Such individuals make the covert narcissist feel profoundly uneasy. Thus, the narcissist departs for greener pastures where they can ensnare and manipulate new victims, as being near someone who may expose their deceit is deemed too risky. Parting thoughts. Ultimately, it's crucial to recognize that for narcissists, maintaining control is paramount. When they fail to bend someone to their will, it represents a loss of control that they cannot abide. Instead of accepting defeat gracefully, they often seek to tarnish your reputation before departing or clandestinely undermine your accomplishments. Narcissists never take kindly to being abandoned. They harbor a burning desire for retribution against those who slip from their grasp. All they require is an opportunity. Therefore, it's imperative never to allow them back into our lives. That concludes today's discussion, but I'm eager to hear your thoughts and experiences. Please share your feedback and personal anecdotes in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Wishing everyone a fantastic week ahead, and thank you for tuning in. When navigating interactions with narcissistic individuals, it's paramount to establish and uphold boundaries while asserting your own needs. This might entail clearly delineating what behaviors you will not tolerate and refusing to engage in actions that fuel their narcissism. By prioritizing your mental and emotional health and refusing to be swayed or manipulated, you reclaim a sense of agency and control within the relationship. Moreover, it's crucial to practice empathy without enabling when dealing with narcissists. While it's important to grasp the underlying insecurities and motivations behind their conduct, it's equally vital not to excuse or justify their harmful behavior. Striking a balance between compassion and holding them accountable can foster healthier dynamics and encourage them to confront their own issues. Lastly, seeking support from trusted individuals or mental health professionals is indispensable when navigating relationships with narcissists. Having a support network in place can offer validation, insight, and guidance as you navigate the complexities of such relationships. Whether through therapy, support groups, or confiding in loved ones, sharing your experiences and emotions can alleviate feelings of isolation and empower you to make informed choices for your well-being. When dealing with narcissists, it's crucial to adopt a mindset of acceptance rather than allowing yourself to be consumed by heartbreak when they choose to end the relationship. Embracing a demeanor of calm acceptance can be a powerful tool, leaving the narcissist questioning their decisions and potentially disrupting their sense of control. By treating their departure as a minor setback, you subtly reclaim power and agency in the relationship. To effectively navigate interactions with narcissists, it's important to introduce an element of unpredictability. This strategy can disrupt their expectations and keep them on their toes. By refusing to conform to their anticipated responses, you create a dynamic where they must adjust their tactics. While this journey may have its challenges, understanding the underlying dynamics empowers you to navigate these relationships more effectively. In the presence of a narcissist, they may exploit vulnerabilities and unearth past traumas. However, by recognizing this pattern, you can take proactive measures to protect yourself and maintain your confidence. By reinforcing your defenses and resisting their attempts to manipulate your emotions, you seize command of your own narrative. This realization empowers you to erect boundaries and safeguard your well-being against their relentless manipulation tactics. As individuals, we construct intricate frameworks within ourselves to navigate life's trials and tribulations, fostering personal growth in the process. These frameworks stand as bastions of resilience, empowering us to confront challenges with courage and resolve. However, narcissists possess a knack for identifying and dismantling these very foundations. Whether they target tangible aspects of our lives or intangible qualities that bolster our self-esteem, their actions often take the form of calculated maneuvers emblematic of narcissistic traits. These individuals, skilled in the art of manipulation, function as both artists and deceivers, adept at pinpointing the elements that contribute to our confidence and self-reliance. Yet, beneath this veneer lies a more sinister agenda: to strip away these wellsprings of strength and independence, thereby fostering dependence upon themselves. Consequently, the narcissist endeavors to divert our focus from our aspirations, relationships, and self-assurance, redirecting it towards their own desires and needs. The treacherous grip of narcissism slowly creeps into our lives, subtly corroding our sense of self under the guise of care and affection. Through a series of cunning maneuvers, the narcissist aims to make themselves the focal point of our world, gradually persuading us to surrender all that once held significance. These manipulative tactics often operate surreptitiously, leaving us questioning the validity of our own perceptions and experiences. In hindsight, the true motives of the narcissist become painfully clear, planting seeds of doubt and undermining our self-esteem. Yet, amid the chaos and disillusionment, it becomes evident that the narcissist didn't randomly choose their victim. It was a calculated selection driven by their recognition of our inherent qualities: kindness, optimism, and a dedication to positivity, which they aim to exploit and ultimately extinguish. Thus, the journey of confronting narcissism reveals not only the depths of their deceit, but also the enduring strength that lies within us. If you've been entangled with a narcissist, chances are they succeeded in isolating you, causing you to forsake other important aspects of your life, such as your friendships. When a narcissist perceives you as relying solely on them, they view it as an opportunity to sever ties, anticipating your deep distress and desperation. This reaction is precisely what fuels the narcissist's sense of importance and validation. In such scenarios, if this tactic typically proves effective, say in 90 or even 99 out of 100 instances, individuals with narcissistic tendencies demonstrate a remarkable ability to accurately assess others. This skill enables them to pinpoint the precise moment to withdraw or, more precisely, discard someone. However, if they execute this maneuver and you fail to respond as anticipated, the dynamics shift dramatically. Suddenly, they find themselves in an uncomfortable position. If you accept their rejection calmly, devoid of the expected anguish, they not only miss out on witnessing your emotional turmoil, but also lose the opportunity to derive satisfaction from your suffering. Subsequently, your lack of visible distress fails to bolster their ego as expected, resulting in an unforeseen and profound emotional setback. Thus, one of the most significant threats to a narcissist's self-image arises when they miscalculate individuals. When someone defies expectations by not reacting as anticipated and refrains from succumbing to despair, thereby avoiding the predicted desperation for reconciliation, narcissists become frustrated and enraged. The fact that you refuse to adhere to the expected narrative of self-destruction bewilders them. They question why you didn't adhere to the plans they believed would plunge you into misery. For those unacquainted with narcissism, comprehending this phenomenon might pose a challenge. Yet, for those who have encountered it firsthand, the pattern becomes unmistakable. It's akin to acknowledging the existence of narcissists, much like understanding the sky's hue or the chill of ice. When narcissists hold sway over you, they believe they're entitled to everything, including your emotional turmoil. Their primary aim: finding gratification in your pain, whether for their own enjoyment or to inflate their ego. Without this validation, they struggle to maintain their sense of self-worth. So, if a narcissist misjudges your resilience, particularly if they anticipate your devastation following rejection, and you instead exhibit strength, it can deeply unsettle them. Expect them to persist in their efforts to regain control and shift the narrative.